Hey crafters, it's Shay, and it's been a while. I'm here, I'm pregnant, I'm out of breath, so bear with me on that. But we're here today to talk about starting a Cricut business, selling your Cricut crafts, and how to get started. I wanted to do a bit of an experiment because about 6 or 7 years ago now actually, I started my own Cricut business. I got a Cricut, I was brand new, had no idea how to use the thing, and I started making these little elves. I started making things like stockings, and I started selling those things, mind you, for a very cheap price, and now I kind of cringe looking back at it, but hey, somehow I was successful. And I wanted to see if now, 6 or 7 years later, I could do the exact same thing using my same tried and true methods that I've talked about in so many videos here in my Cricut business series. And I wanted to see if today, in 2023 going into 2024, you can sell your Cricut crafts, do a Cricut business, even though everyone and their aunt seems to have a Cricut, or so everyone's saying nowadays. You know, during lockdown, everyone went, they purchased a Cricut, and now they want to sell stuff, which is great because I'm sure you do as well. That's why you're here on this video. So let's learn about it. Like I mentioned, whether you're a Cricut beginner or you've had your Cricut for many years now, you're very experienced, you can do this. I was able to sell these items made with heat transfer vinyl. That's the first project I learned how to do. I used my hair straightener because I didn't even have a press or an iron at home. I was on maternity leave, just wanting to make some money on the side. And I was selling these items that I made with my hair straightener and heat transfer vinyl. So trust me when I say you can do it too if I was able to do it. And I was making money fast. I made hundreds of dollars the first few weeks I had my Cricut. And while I was doing it, I was actually learning. Of course, the first few ones I sold weren't really that amazing. I was brand new to Cricut, but as I did more and more, I was learning. I was able to branch out into t-shirts by the time Mother's Day rolled around. And let me tell you, I made so much money during Mother's Day and Father's Day that year selling t-shirts, which again, there was trial and error. I was learning as I went. So it's actually a really great idea as a Cricut beginner to get started on just selling some items. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I have a whole Cricut business series. So I've talked about these things a lot of times. And today, I'm here to tell you about my little experiment that I made these past few weeks. I was at my local dollar store and I walked by these little guys. I saw this and it reminded me of years and years ago, brand new mom wanting to make some money, and I found some Christmas elves and stockings at my local dollar store. I started personalizing them, selling them like I mentioned, and making money, and I thought, could I do that now? Even though everyone has a Cricut? Would it really still work? The tips that I've been talking about for years, or am I a fraud? Am I really just a fraud? At this point, it's irrelevant, I'm irrelevant, it may as well just shut down. No, I wanted to see if it would work. So I went ahead and I purchased 3 of these. I have 3 kids. I made it for my kids. I made a video out of it teaching you how I do it, and then I posted it on Facebook Marketplace. I didn't even really try that hard. I just did a few of the things that I talk about when I make my listings, which we'll get into in a little bit. And I posted it, and what do you know? I started getting so many messages. I got so many clicks on it, and I'm not the only one in my area selling these. Actually, I have the receipts showing many other crafters, about 30 of them, selling the exact same item for even less than me. So how am I making all this money when clearly there's other people in my area? Let me tell you, my dollar stores are empty. There's none of these left. So let me tell you, there's a lot of crafters going around selling these little guys. And that's what we're gonna talk about today, so that you can also make the sale just like I did over the other people. Now also, as I was filming my videos, I realized someone did steal my photo and use it for their listing. So don't get confused by the fact that there's a listing that says $10 on there with my photo. That wasn't me. And now I'm realizing someone stole my photo, but you know what, that's another day. I should have watermarked it or something, okay? That's for another video. Ugh, very offended. Side note, these holiday drinks are getting the best of me. I asked for 1 extra pump, and in a very judgy voice, the barista goes, so you want 7 pumps of syrup? Or I think she said 7 pumps of sugar in your drink, and I was like, well, yes, I do. So embarrassing, but they're just so good. I literally can't not get them. If you're curious, I get the sugar cookie oat latte iced. So good. Step 1, let's talk about where I was selling my items. Now I do have a video up here specifically talking about Facebook Marketplace, how to sell on Facebook, local Facebook groups, Those are huge ways to do it. You don't have to go ahead and open like an Etsy store, a TikTok shop, or a Shopify. You don't have to go that big. You can start local. Especially as a Cricut beginner, I recommend it because you're going to be messing things up. You're going to be learning as you go, so you want something easy, local. You can kind of redeem yourself if you mess something up, make a new one, send it to them. It's just a lot easier that way. You're going to want to figure out what you want to sell. Now, there are so many different options what you can make and sell with your Cricut. Thousands and thousands upon thousands of options. In fact, I have hundreds of videos talking about the thousands of options that you can make. I have a whole playlist with all of these videos for all of the holidays, all of the seasons and themes. I'll leave that up here. You can check those out. And I mean, there's still way more than that. I also have tons of tutorials showing you how to make that. So I'm not leaving you hanging when I say do your research. I got you. I've done a lot of research. So you can go ahead and watch those videos, put it on when you're folding some laundry, cooking dinner, and, you know, take a look, see if it's something you might want to make and might be interested in, because the thing is, you want to do something a little bit different than other people are doing. In my experiment, there were so many others selling the exact same thing. I didn't know that when I originally listed my little reindeers for sale, right? And like I said, I listed mine for $13, yet I was making the sales over a $10 listing of the exact same item. I was able to change mine up. I noticed that the other crafters were using heat transfer vinyl. So then I changed mine to a flocked heat transfer vinyl, which kind of looks like a fabric material. It makes the quality look a lot better, and it's not that much more expensive. So that in itself made a big difference. I was able to justify the price difference, and for some reason, I started getting sales. Another one was turnaround time. I was able to offer the next day pickup, and that was something big. I noticed as soon as someone asked, it was a very common question, how soon can I pick up? Every time I said, tomorrow morning it'll be ready for you, I made the sale instantly. Now that's not always an option. You can't always have it done the next day, and I understand that. But there are ways to kind of streamline your business, make things better as you go, cut the tags off ahead of time, prepare the design ahead of time if you can. You know, it's tricky when it's personalized, but you can have your design space font ready to go, so you just have to type in the name, cut it out, and add your vinyl, for example. There are ways to streamline it, and if you want more information on that, we can go into it in another video. I can do a whole tutorial as I do it and show you, you know, a day in the life of my business. I've done it a few times, but we can definitely do that again and go more into detail. Productivity is a huge part of having a business, and it does make a difference sometimes if you're going to make the sale or not. People are last minute shoppers. It's only November right now when I'm filming this, but trust me when I say Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, people are last minute shoppers, Valentine's Day, and people want things now. Nowadays, people want it now. They're scrolling TikTok, everything. They want it today. So it's not always an option, but consider it in part of your business plan on productivity. How can you make it a little faster, still the same quality, but more effective, perhaps? Another way you might be able to differentiate yourself if you want to sell the exact same product as someone else in your local area is using different type of materials. If you're using, let's say, heat transfer vinyl or printable vinyl, you know, the one that can come off in the wash sometimes, it can peel, it can crack, not always, but it can over time, it will over time. You might want to do something like infusible ink or sublimation, where it's actually becoming infused into the garment. Now that's a little bit more of an advanced craft to learn. Don't be intimidated. I did it. If I'm able to do it, I guarantee you, you're able to do it. And again, I have tutorials on how to do all of the things that I've talked about in today's video, because I never want to say something and leave you hanging like, wait, what? What is she talking about? What even is this thing? I've never heard of sublimation. That sounds scary and intimidating. It's not, I promise. I got you. There are videos right here. Let's talk pricing, because that's a big one. Like I talked about in the video earlier today, I was able to sell something for more than other people. I was making more sales than them. I've actually been talking to them to do the research for this video. I'm wondering, why aren't they making the sale? Why am I? What is the big difference here? With pricing, you want to remember that you want it to be worth actually selling and making this item, and also something that makes sense and worth it for the person purchasing it. If you're posting something for $30 and you bought the product for under $5, it took you like 5 minutes to make, I mean, it might be something you want to consider. Now, I actually have a video talking specifically about this pricing formula that I learned a long time ago. I kind of go off of that, but essentially in a fast, quick version for this video, you want to take a little bit of an equation where you're taking your time, your talent, your energy, you going out to purchase the items, you making it, you learning Cricut Design Space, you paying off that Cricut that you bought or maybe were gifted, all of that is going to be one side of it where you deserve to get paid for that, times how long it's taking you to make the item. If it's taking you an hour or two to make it, you deserve to get paid for that time. If it's taking you 5 minutes, you still deserve to get paid for that time. It's just going to be maybe a smaller amount than the larger, more complex projects. And that's something you want to consider in your pricing. We go into it more in depth in that video I was talking about, where we really have like this formula. We can talk about it more and break it down. But essentially, that's kind of the formula, and then it's going to equal out your pricing. So that's going to look different for a lot of people. Maybe I can make an item in 5 minutes, and someone else is going to make it a little bit different. Maybe they're actually physically making a wreath themselves. They're not purchasing a wreath from the store, no. They're making it fully themselves and then adding all the little fixins onto it. Well, you deserve to get paid for that, right? You're spending way more time than I am on a store purchased wreath. So that's something to consider as well in your pricing, and that's going to look different for every single one of you and every single one of us. So it's really important that you don't just look at someone else and do a pricing just to undercut them or, you know, just under them. That's not going to make sure you get the sale. Trust me, that experiment I did just showed that that doesn't get you the sale necessarily. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it can make a difference. Price definitely makes a difference, but not always just because it's cheaper will it make the difference. Do you see what I'm saying here? When you have a Cricut business, you want to think about marketing and advertising. Now, I'm not talking about paying someone to do it for you. I mean, you could do that, but you want to do it for yourself, right? You're trying to save yourself some money when you're getting started. So my first tip is starting a social media account for that, whether it be an Instagram, a TikTok, a Facebook page. Highly recommend. You can link it in your Facebook marketplace posting, which is huge because you will make more sales for more products that way. We talk about it in the Facebook video. I highly recommend you check it out because I have been very successful selling on Facebook Marketplace and local Facebook groups with these methods. I also have a background in marketing. I have been a marketing manager and a social media manager for over 6 years now. So I definitely know what I'm talking about when it comes to marketing. I was able to grow my TikTok to over 100,000 in less than 1 year. So yeah, I do know what I'm talking about when I am saying that marketing, social media marketing is huge, and I have videos all about that. It's free marketing, and people are on social media now. They're, you know, scrolling through those TikToks, those Instagrams when they're on their way, waiting for the bus. Maybe they're in the bathroom. You know, people are looking at that stuff, and why not have your video pop up and make a sale from maybe your reel popping up on Instagram, or maybe your TikTok of you making your item pops up and they're like, hey, that's cool, I want to buy it. This is something you want to look into. It doesn't have to take up all of your time. It doesn't have to be intimidating. Even if you don't know how to use social media, I got you as always, and I have tons of videos on that. I have made a specific social media playlist for your business, which I will leave linked down below for you to be able to easily find that. And that's something that I highly recommend. If you take any advice from this video when you're starting a Cricut business, you look into that, because that is how you're going to grow and build your business. That is how you're going to be able to branch out. That's where you're going to be making the money. Now that I'm on my way with my experiment, I started it, and now somehow I started a whole new business idea, and I'm going all out making all these reindeer and having so much fun with it. I really thought I should share these all with you. So I will leave all of the videos linked down below, as well as the playlist I mentioned. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you want more details on anything, I can absolutely go into more detail on it. I also share a whole series of this on my TikTok, where I do like shorter version videos of this because I'm limited on time compared to on here. And I'm able to go a little bit more into depth. It's a little bit more personal on YouTube, which I appreciate more. For a Cricut beginner, you can see the real steps. Like I said, you can put on the video, you can do your laundry, do your cooking. You know, I know we're all busy in the world. Drive to work while you listen to me talk and hear about some Cricut ideas to make you money this year. You can do it. If I was able to do it, you can do it too.